Taxes, inflation, and the breakdown of the family are causing us to fall behind. We have the lowest net worth in the United States, and I'm sure those numbers cross the border as well.
Some people get the disability tax credit and they don't open the registered disability savings plan, and that's where the government puts in all the money of grants and bonds for a person with a disability who has done all the steps. Some people don't do all the steps.
But we do. We do. Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations. Let me get my tassel here, right? 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And being part of that team, we have reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And we are hitting our 100,000 mark again this year. And I'm actually doing some proposals for some other partners in regards to that endeavor. And as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Good morning, Ryan Knight. You got to take yourself off mute, man. There, it's
good
better.
Good day. It was good to see you, Dr. Vibe. And for those that may not remember who Ryan Knight is, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So we support entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in and help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. I also am an entrepreneur. I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And we are in the process of recruiting for next year. So if you are looking for a job for your teenager or young adult, if they're having trouble getting a job in the summer, definitely send them to our info session. We're going to be starting it up in the new year. So we're advertising for it now. So the info session talks about our entrepreneurship program and the different positions we have as employees for Detailing Nights in our marketing division and customer service. So definitely look forward to that. I'm going to be posting soon. And yeah.
Okay. All right. So what we'll do is we got a little bit of a promo to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that first, and we'll get into stuff. So let's do this. All right, let me do that. Let me get that out of the way. So let's do it here. So Frequency Event Promotions presents Network Mixer 4.0 Roadside Edition on Wednesday, January 15th, 2024. I know, but it's coming around the corner fast. And it's happening from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m.
1 month.
Yeah, it's not that far. And it's going to be at 245 Eglinton Avenue East in Toronto. The major intersection is Mount Pleasant and Eglinton. And it's special guest appearance by someone we just spoke about just before we went live, Chris Beth Cowie. She's a sales and e-commerce specialist of Empower4X. So the target audience is it's exclusive for entrepreneurs in their first to 5 years of business, which probably most of the people who watch this live on the replay are in that niche. And the Mixer is to provide entrepreneurs with a better understanding of how to sell their products and services to their prospective and intended target audiences. It'll teach you how to leverage AI to transform your marketing capabilities. What makes it an essential event to attend? Public platform that enables entrepreneurs to improve their business profiles, experience the power of networking at the Network Mixer, while you effortlessly forge your meaning business connections that can elevate your business, product, service, and/or initiative. So there's complimentary parking. There is a variety of light bites, vegetarian and meat options, exciting giveaways. Be prepared to network, and you can register now and on eventbrite.ca. Just search for Frequency Event Promotions, and you receive a 25% discount if you put in the promo code Dr. Vibe. That's DRVIBE 2024. Also, you can register by emailing info at frequencyeventpromotions.com with the subject line Morning Vibe Show Network Mixer 4.0. And that is a little thing that is going on in January. I know people saying, "Oh, don't make me think about January," but it is going down. It is. So just a
and we
detail.
just got confirmation December 27th. Chris Beth Cowie should be coming on the Morning Vibe, so we'll be able to hear more about Empowered Forex and this upcoming networking mixer.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, people, just an FYI, we'll be broadcasting during the holiday season because the way the Mondays and Fridays hit from now to the end of the year, it's not too close to the holiday season. So Boxing Day is on Thursday, we're broadcasting on the Friday. So we're not interrupting in our broadcasting over the holiday season. So, hey, we would like you to show up if you can. Again, here's the details on the Frequency Event Promotions Network Mixer, Wednesday, January 15th, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m., 245 Oakland Avenue East. Special guest, Chris Beth Cowie, Sales and E-Commerce Specialist of Empower Forex. And to register, you can use the Frequency Event Promotions email info at Frequency Event Promotions and the Morning Vibe. So I did not put up the other thing about I thought I had put it up. Oh, there we go. There we go. Register now also on Eventbrite CA and type in the search bar Frequency Event Promotions when you're on eventbrite.ca. Receive a 25% discount. Promo code Dr. Vibe 2024. Before we start gaggling along, let's see who's in the comments section. So Fitnance IQ says, "Morning. Mars from Colorado. What is going on, Kello? Good to hear you. Good to hear from you, my brother. Leslie McEwen, have not heard from you in a while.
Good to hear from you.
Hope you are keeping fine.
Way overdue to be on the show.
Yes, so I'm gonna reach out to you over the holiday season for the New Year Frequency Event Promotions. Good day, Dr. Vibe and Ryan. Well, at least you were on time this time for the ad read. Thank good. Most of the time, Dr. Vibe, we missed you on Monday. Well, your event clashes because I facilitate a virtual class every Monday from 8 to 9:30. So got to do it. And there he is, Wayne Harris, Grand Rising, listening from the gym. What?
Nice.
Come on, Harris. Yeah, I don't know if you said, but Wayne is on serious regime. Like he's fighting fierce for his weight. So you're stretching me, Mr. Harris. I've got to make sure. I'm actually going to do probably a water fast today. So Wayne's working out. I'm taking my foot, and I know him and Angie are really into the transformation of things. And okay, Frequency Event Promotion says thanks for attending the mixer. All right, so you attended the mixer. How was it?
Yes, very nice. And I've been to, I think, 2 other ones like that he's done, and I like how this one is now a series. So was there, I think, one before this one that I didn't make it to? This one's happening.
I don't think so. I think this was the one.
The first of the series.
First of the series. Yeah. So correct us if we're wrong there, Mr. Frequency. Go ahead.
So getting to do the visioning exercise was really good for oh my goodness. So Christopher, put the name of the facilitator in the chat, please.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but I know they had a special guest there. Okay, so it was a good thing.
So going into 2025, getting to think of what are the goals, where do you see your company going in 2027, getting to see some familiar faces like Sheldon, Isaac, the photographer, videographer, Sue knows business. She was there. Who else? Well, Camille from Fitness IQ.
She's one of the stars. She's one of the celebrities of Toronto, so of course she's there.
And got to attend with my wife. So Cher from she showed out. She actually gave away one of the prizes. So somebody won a box set like these ones.
That was worth the price of admission alone.
Right?
That was worth the price of it. Oh, by the way, did the person who won, was it Christopher, pick up his box yet?
Well, we delivered it that day.
Okay,
so good. Got his box. Yeah.
Good. So all right, good.
Get that to him.
Good, excellent. Well, I'm glad. And believe it or not, I think in April I'm the facilitator for the April event.
Did see that on the mega promo that showed all the faces. So we had to get our tickets ready. He doesn't have that one ready for you, so you can post it
I
and show
think
people that you're coming up as a speaker?
I don't want people to know about little.
Right.
I'm just the guy, man. I'm just the guy. But it sounds like it was a good. And so yes. So Christopher says so Mignon Cam. Good morning, Mignon Cam. Hope you are doing fine. Frequency of Emperor says first out 1 out of 5 sessions. He also has Coach Danny Stone going to be there, heavy hitter. Frequency of Emperor says yes. Ms. Knight was in the house. What? In capitals. Capitals. That is large. That is fantastic. So it was good event. I'm glad to hear it went fine. We'll go to break, and then I know it's been a while since but there's a number of things we can chat about, and a lot of things going on, whether it's around the world in our neighborhood or whatever. But what we'll do is we're going to take a quick little break, come back, and again, and anything you want to chat about or want us to chat about, bring it to us. Bring it to us. All right. So we will be back in about a minute and a half.
Hi, everyone. I was just on the Dr. Vibe show a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to talk about how wonderful the experience was. I was there to talk about a Buy Blacks article, but what I really appreciated about being on the Dr. Vibe morning show was that very quickly as my story started to unfold, Dr. Vibe was able to pivot, ask really interesting questions to give the context to the audience and listener about why the article was personal to me, who I am as an author and writer, and give all of that additional context so that the audience understands the perspective that I'm speaking from, which I think is very, very important in journalism. It was a warm experience and invitation. I had a wonderful time being on, and I would recommend anyone else interested in participating on the Dr. Vibe Morning Show do so, because it's a wonderful time.
Thank you so much. And writer, she's like now media person, because she is all over the place in a good way. Hilary LeBlanc Media. So that's fantastic. So before we get into it, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. If you haven't, please do if you feel like it. I'd like to hit 1,630 before the holiday season. So I like before the next show, I'd like to have 1,630 YouTube subscribers. Also follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms myself is on. Email me, dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com. Join the Discord group. Please join the Discord. And I know Mignon Cam puts a number of stories in there, so she's leading the charge right now in the Discord group. Also, cannot forget Dr. Tachi, Indie Soup TV, IndieSoupMedia.tv, or you can catch them out preferably on YouTube, independent content creators platform. About 25 independent content creators, and going on 8 or 9 months, has over 20,000 YouTube subscribers. So if you want to catch some good independent content, including this guy and that guy, that guy, we're on the edited versions. And speaking about Dr. Tachi, she will be with us this Friday talking about the year in media, tech, and pop culture. Do not miss it. Dr. Tachi knows her stuff, especially in the media, tech, and pop culture space. So definitely check it out. So who else we have commenting here? Do we have any? Oh, hold on. Do we have anybody else? McMillan Group. Yes. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to you. Mr. McMillan, are you still in town or have you left yet? And actually him, his son Stefan, and Andrew, they do Money in the Morning. It's a conversation. If I got the title wrong, it's my head, not my heart. And they celebrated, was it their 10th or 12th show last Wednesday? I was in on it. It was great. Very happy to be seeing them make great progression, and they're stretching me as always. Frequency Event Promotions goes, Hazel Williams, big interrupted goal, setting and vision board expert. Okay, good stuff. And Mignon Cam says, yes, the Discord is there's a mini story about why oxtail is expensive. Got a poster.
We're getting some lore. We gotta.
And you know what's funny? I was there's a live streamer named Kirk Nugent. He's based in Alabama, and he has about 10,000 followers. Actually, myself and Dr. Tachi had him on the platform a little while back, and he's very good at live streaming. Really a live streaming pro, but just a great person. And he mentioned he was in Toronto. He was talking about oxtail. Was it? He was in Toronto. I don't know what it was, but I don't know if he bought the oxtail in Toronto or he was talking about oxtail. I go, do you know the Oxtail King? He goes, who's that?
The Oxtail Hunter.
Hunter. Oh, I thought you were the king, not Hunter.
There's another guy on Instagram that's the Oxtail King.
Oh, already took it. All right. And Frequency of Air says, looking forward to Dr. Tachi come Friday. Oh, yeah. Dr. Tachi is going to come with it, family. So if you want a great review on media, tech, and pop culture, book it. Well, most of you have already probably subscribed to the YouTube channel. So the post.
That's where Mini on Cam, you can't be looking at the prices when you're buying oxtail. That is your treat. You just close your eyes, give the people your money, and enjoy your food. Because if you look at the price, then it salts how you enjoy the food. Because all you're thinking of, this bite costs 25 cents. Like every bite costs money. So,
wow. Why should I take that clip and send it to Carolyn?
oh, right.
So for people who don't know, that's Carolyn Nicole, who comes on once every month, second Monday of each month, that talks about different aspects of holistic nutrition. And for those people who didn't catch it, you should catch a replay. But when she was on last week, she made the announcement that now Energy Shack Juice Bar has its own space. So for those people who don't know, who don't live in the GTA, don't know about Energy Shack Juice Bar, about a year and a half ago, they moved out of a brick and mortar place in Scarborough, and she rented basically an office at a place called Gluten-Free Gluten Bakery on 1970 Ellesmere. So what they have now done is Energy Shack Juice Bar has now bought Gluten-Free Free Gluten Bakery. That's the way I think it's the name. If I get it wrong, head, not my heart. So they are now the owners. So now they are back to serving food brick and mortar wise.
Gotcha.
So really happy about that. If you're in the GTA, go. If you have time, please support. Please support big time. I know Wayne Harris has been there with his wife, Angie. I'm going to be going there sometime this week. So we're really excited for them and what's been going on there. Oh, so Minnie on Cam says, I don't have oxtail monthly and beef shanks. Okay. And then she says there's a chuck roast in the freezer for the next dinner. Nice, and then she also says, I'm heavy on buying beef and chicken. I don't eat red meat anymore.
Okay.
I don't eat red meat anymore. So and the funny thing is with my stomach, especially now when I have certain foods, my stomach tells me if it's good or not.
Oh, like yeah, you can start feeling.
It tells me if it's good or no. And red meat, gone.
Gotcha.
Red meat, gone.
What is it that you're feeling like? Is it just the stomach gets
the
tight?
Stomach? Like back in a long time ago, I used to love spicy chips, potato chips. Have them now? Stomach, nope.
Right.
No, not happening. So what I have some chat topics. But again, audience, if you're watching live, please, if you want to ask us any questions, or Ryan, what's been going on, or I have a number of topics I'd like to chat about.
One thing that's been on my mind, on my heart, is I've been hearing updates on different, Black men in media that are getting accused. So Jay-Z now is I guess Sean Carter, the second Sean, because Sean Diddy Combs was getting accused. Right. Who's it like in Toronto? Michael Thompson getting accused. That's still in the courts.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
So I start to think it's like, as a Black man, these types of allegations have a lose-lose situation. It's either you're an idiot and actually did these things, and when you saw like the text messages with Senator Meredith, you're just like, how can somebody be so stupid? Or they didn't do it the way that Michael Thompson is proposing and Sean and everybody, but then you still lose all your credibility, you still lose your status. So even if you didn't do it, you still lose. And so I always wonder, like, how do you protect yourself from these types of things happening?
This
You know,
is a
like-
really good
Wow.
conversation piece. So before we get to it, also Frequency of Brand Promotions goes, Ryan, check out this IG handle, The Good Eats by Julian. It's a food truck that sells
Okay.
oxtail. If you don't like the oxtail, keep the receipt and I'll reimburse you.
All
Look at
right.
that.
Hey, I will do a live about. Wait, you have to put in where are they located?
But it's a food truck. I don't know. They
Do
may
they
go
move
to
around, you
different
think?
places, I guess. But
I know some move
there
around
you
and
go.
some are stationary.
So you two can take this offline, your oxtail fantasies.
Good
Your
Eats by
oxtail,
Julian. Okay.
yeah,
okay.
the oxtail fix. No, this is a really good conversation topic because someone who I follow was chatting about this the other day that black men in the media. And the thing is,
Mm.
this is so large. Where do I start? Okay.
Mm.
I guess people can say that people like Ryan and myself are in the media, so to speak. We're on a lot. I think we have to be really careful because again, we don't have let's put it this way. We couldn't do the things that 47 has done in the past and have a good persona. And still be rich.
Totally destroyed, canceled, whatever term you want to use.
So we as black men,
like a tenth of what he's done. Not even
not
like,
a millionth,
all
a
of it.
millionth, not even a tenth, a millionth.
right? Oh my
And
goodness.
it is an ongoing challenge to hold your head high, and perception is so much, right?
Well, and this is where, because we had a student, so they were catering for one of our events. And so I called up the students to the front and they had graduated our program. So I put my arm around her as I was talking about her. And this is where in the back of your mind, you're just like, what's okay? What, you know, you can't even just be personable. You're always thinking of the way that you're interacting with females. And so that's where you start to wonder every step you almost have to be protecting yourself, even though, I mean, hey, it was totally innocent, but just perception can cause things to happen in the future. You're just like, yeah, why is the world like this, especially when it comes to black men? Because Bill Cosby, that shit came out like 30 years later. What's happening with
Jay-Z? Jay-Z, yeah.
92? It was like, or the early 2000s, like at least 20 years ago. So yeah, man, it's like you're always having to watch your step.
Yeah, I'm being a black person, black male, black man all my life. I was a black youth, black picnic, black youth, black man. I'm very wary about these things these days, and you always are under watch, right? And and again, the media is still controlled by certain people, and they can do whatever they like and pull down your reputation. Now, it's a really challenging thing to do, and again, I'm just thinking right now. Sometimes now, recently, I've taken pictures with my hand around a lady's shoulder. I'm saying, you know what I should do probably in future is, are you okay with this?
Right, but that's where, because I use the example of my student, because you're so proud of them and they're almost like your kids. But like you said, you're probably a friend with this woman, just happy to be taking a picture with them.
Yep.
And I always remember I was taking a picture with Mitzi Hunter.
Yes.
I went the same thing to kind of just like take the picture, but then she backed away. And I was like, right? You have to make sure that people are okay with just take pictures. I was like, yeah, you have to think about these things, because I've seen allegations. I think the late Rob Ford was accused during a picture.
Yeah, but Rob Ford is not melanated, so that's a different.
Valid. I was the picture reminded me because he was taking a picture and they accused him of touch. So yeah, it's
a very
because how do you protect yourself from false allegations? This is where, if it's not true what they're going through, this type of attack is like it just still destroys everything.
Well, we have to realize that when you put yourself out there, you're gonna get people who are gonna, for whatever reason, try to put you down. Right. And the thing is,
that's rough.
And especially
man.
it is rough. And being
Like,
being a black man, we have to realize that we have to always be on the guard. And plus also it doesn't help that, and I've chatted about this, black culture, a lot of black culture, especially when you talk about black culture and hip hop, has not given the best portrayal of black men.
They've definitely set themselves up for these types of allegations.
Yes, but the challenging thing is those allegations also reflect on us.
But absolutely, but like you said, the fact that the norm wasn't uplifting women, the norm was sexualizing them. So when an allegation like this comes up, it's not far-fetched to think, oh, women went to this party, it was a sexual party, and they had to do stuff that they didn't want to do. Because even if you go to the party, at any point, if you say no, but the way that lifestyle environment was, it's easy to see, like, it's easy to believe that could have happened. Like, that's the sad part.
All right, just want to, Frequency Event is giving you some information. The food truck is mainly now the Guildwood GO train station.
Gotcha.
All right. So, but you may want to look them up. I'm sure they have an Instagram handle. You may want to touch base with them. And this is interesting conversation because I don't see many people commenting live, which is interesting. Interesting.
What I want to mention, and it was interesting because Dr. Umar mentioned this, and I didn't even think of it. So Vince McMahon has been accused of very similar things to Puff Daddy, and he's not in jail. And he was saying, like, it's been 3 times worse what he's been accused of. Similar stuff.
Of course.
But this is where, even if you're accused, how they treat black men is completely different. So this is why you would think we would be overly vigilant to not put ourselves in those situations. Because, we're not treated the same. I mean, like you said, 47 is the personification of white privilege and how we can't act the same.
So thank you. Finally, someone's made a comment. Macmillan Group, good morning, Ray. He says, I don't hug women. I shake hands. It can get awkward very easily. You know what? That may be a good precedent right there. And you know what? And when I shake a lady's hand, I don't shake it like this. What I do is I do it like hand over hand. I don't shake hands like this. I do my hand and leave it at that. But I like that precedent because you never know, because you do something and then 10 years later you get accused of something. And again, because you're a black man and because there's unfortunately, still a lot of negative perception about black men, you got to be really careful. So, all right. So now some of our core, Wayne Harris says double standards are in play. And then Mignon Cam says Sterling K. Brown talked about it. He can't act the same as his white counterparts. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
100%. And this is I'm glad you brought this up because I'm very careful and I'm just going these days. I'm going, so this is one of the things I'm going to do in 2025. If I meet you and you're a lady, you're just going to get a shake of hand. You don't get anything else.
But this is where you can't even be yourself. Because if I see a woman that is a friend and I haven't seen them in a long time and you're genuinely excited.
You want
right? Like and hey, they're coming for an embrace. You want to say hi and you go for the hug. To now, like, hesitate. You're almost like you give the perception like, oh, are you not happy to see me? It's like it just become awkward. That's awkward to me, is not hugging somebody that I'm happy to see. But I can definitely see why men would say, like, hey, hugging off the table, I just shake hands, keep it professional.
Yeah.
But is that natural? Like, as humans, we
Yeah,
release
well,
dopamine from
unfortunately,
hugs. Like,
unfortunately,
handshakes is so
there's
so
unfortunately
business.
there's a lot of bad actors out there, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also, and this leads to another interesting point. But let's put up some comments first. Macmillan Group says, when I met female clients in my office, I always made sure someone else was present.
Right?
And
Like keeping the door open if you're having somebody in your office. Like so many different
Mignon Camp
tactics.
says about he goes into detail on his podcast about being Sunset when he's acting for a film and series. Okay, no problem. Yeah,
Right.
it's really, I was involved in a business venture a number of years back, and one of their rules was if you were meeting a female client, you never meet a female client one-on-one.
Wow.
Always have always have at least someone else there, never one-on-one. So it's and also too, with the Me Too movement, this has become very accelerated, and there's a whole cornucopia of subjects, because this also leads into the whole area of the whole thing of Black male-female relationships. That's a whole other that leads to those sort of things. And again, all the dating stuff that's online, this, that, the other thing. One of the interesting things that is being put in my lap, and I'm just seeing where it goes, is being an advocate for women who have been exposed to or have encountered domestic violence. And this comes into that sphere also. And it's really, really interesting to see these days how things are churning along. I'd be very interested to get the generations behind us, how they feel about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I wonder, like, I couldn't imagine dating again. It's like,
wow,
being able to go out into the world and meet people.
I've heard stories,
and it's like, but I hear all horror stories.
Yes,
like, there's good news about people having to date.
There's a ladies' associate that I know, divorced, 2 kids, wonderful lady, really, really good lady. And when I talked to her, so how's the dating going? This is her quote, the struggle is real.
Wow. And so I know 2 gentlemen that have separated from, I think the partner and one separated from their wife. And I asked them both, it's like, okay, so how long are you going to wait before you start dating? Or are you going to get back into dating? He's just like, nope, I'm going to take care of my kid. I'm going to be there for them, but I have no interest in dating anybody. Right. I was like, wow. Like, it just.
Well, so see, and this is becoming very multi-layered here, this conversation, because a gentleman that we both highly respect, Dr. George Fraser, has said that the Black family is in crisis.
Look at that.
Saying that there are less, as things are going right now, as time goes on, you're going to see less families with a Black mother, Black father, and Black kids.
Man.
He says says it's a crisis. Right. The Black family is in crisis because there are less Black families out there with mother, father, and kids. Even just alone mother and male husband and wife. Even that, right? Because someone was asking me this the other day. I know more single Black people than married or couples.
Right.
And that also then has an effect. That has effect on generational wealth.
Yes.
So look at this. Tim Frey says, when hasn't the Black family been in crisis? A good question.
Well, Dr. George Fraser will show early half of the 19th century, 80% plus married Black households. And now less than 50 20 years, I think it's under 30%.
Under 30, yes.
So that to me is more of a crisis than, of course, hey, we're always going through something, but there wasn't a full, like the way even I see Black families portrayed on TV, and when I watch commercials, I'm always watching for this. Way more interracial couples than 2 Black couples.
Yes.
I was like, so what are they prepping us for? Right.
Well, and you know what? I would and I don't watch TV a lot, but when I do, yes, I see interracial, but I also see other cultures interracial now too.
Exactly. Yeah. And I always remember before, like if you're watching, let's say NBC, you would see one version of a commercial with a white couple, and if you're watching BET, you'd see the same version of the same commercial, but with a black couple. But now, like you said, all races, it's always interracial. Yeah.
So you have Dr. George coming back in February, right?
March 29th.
March 29th. Reach out to him from now. I'd like him to come on and talk about the Black family in crisis.
That'd be yeah.
I even before he gets here, I want him to talk about that on the platform. So Minnie on Camp says, my family wasn't a good example of a healthy relationship, so my dating options were not that great. I couldn't ask them for relationship advice. Right, and then so Tim Frey says, so it depends on what you mean by crisis. Okay, so then I would ask Tim, do you feel that the Black family's in crisis? Yes or no? And what would you define as, to me, as crisis, saying that there, as I said, there are less and less families, mother, father, or husband and wife, one module, then husband, wife, and kids, Black. Gotcha. And I say nothing, now the real fun would be if we had Dr. Umar on. That would be a whole nother.
But this is where,
by the way, and he did something the other day. He was on a podcast and he was in Australia, and he really Umar doesn't cause any controversy, right? So he was saying, now I'm only paraphrasing what he said. I ain't saying he said that non-melanated women treat Black men better than melanated women.
And I'm sure Black men that date outside their race would agree. Like, otherwise, why would they stray? But then, yeah, I'd have to hear from.
It was wild. I'm gonna see if I can send you the clip. It was Umar was on fire as usual. But the thing is, here's the question I would say with Dr. Umar. I don't think he's with a Black woman. He's single. So what is he saying about this and this? Yes. I'm going, hello? Right. Minnie on Camp says Dr. Jessica O'Reilly could probably talk about it since she's a couples therapist. That's one thing. Actually, you know who I'm going to try and get on? Well, she's busy. I'd love to get Dr. Alicia Watkins on about this.
Right.
I see, because she is a therapist. She does counseling of Black couples, Black families, Black individuals. So that would be good. But it's a whole. See, that one thing you just dropped. See, you can't just drop. That's a microcosm. That's a microcosm macro. That is a macro, right? Yeah. That is a huge. And I say it's interesting. Not too few people are commenting today, which is interesting.
But and it's interesting what Tim was saying, because it's true. But there's different layers to the Black experience, and definitely there's different things that are, I'll say, crisis mode. But I guess we were talking specifically about, are Black men marrying Black women? Like, that type of crisis, I feel like just keeps getting worse. Like,
okay, so then are you saying that? Actually, I was having a conversation with someone even yesterday about this Black woman, and she was saying,
yes,
she is B1 first.
Okay.
Black first. And she has 3 sons, single mother. She will not date or marry outside of her race, no matter what. She's B1 first. Okay, Tim has some more comments coming in here saying, we live in North America, so our perspective is different than what, say, if we live in Africa, where the majority of people are Black. We are less than 4% of the population, so not everyone is going to match our community here in North America. All right. Interesting point. Wayne Harris says, does shared race matter more than shared values? Ooh.
And that actually touches on what Tim just said. It's like, so we're in North America, let's say we're in Canada. People that are gonna share your values might, because the values are beyond just your race. So if you're in Africa, you're more likely to find somebody of similar race that shares values. In Canada, you're more likely to find somebody outside your race that also still shares your values. If you use Canadian values, if you use Christian or a specific religion. So I can definitely see why people date outside their race, but it's not, I'm saying like media is still preparing us for this. Like we're seeing on TV more interracial couples. So is that the new norm? Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
and this is interesting because if you see the amount of mixed couples on TV, it's a higher percentage than it is in reality.
Exactly, but that's what we're being shown more of.
And again, the media does have influence in this world. But so here's, and going back on Wayne's question, for people, what's, if in a relationship, what do you think is more important? Shared race or shared values?
So now I'll try and use Dr. Umar's argument where can a person outside your race have the same values because they don't have the same experiences? That's where it's now, okay, is it even possible to have the same values if you're not of the same race? But that's where it's like, hey, you pick what your values are, right? And a lot of times that is based on your environment. The ecosystem that you're in is going to create the values that you are hold true. And if you're in Canada, it's more likely that a person that also lives in Canada, whether they're in your race or not, share your values. So if your values are, they have to understand my experience, can a person not in your race understand fully the experience that you're going through?
Okay, now the family's warmed up now. There we go. So Mignon Camp says, yes, my doctor's assistant said in Nigeria, the talk about getting tested for sickle cell. What? That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Let's go to Tim Frey.
Maybe, I guess, values. Like,
okay.
I don't know.
Tim Frey says, get Dr. Dami and Ife from the Marriage Advocates to discuss this. They're dealing with this exact topic. Okay, I'll see if I can copy that information and get them to chat about that. Okay. Mignon Camp says, have any of you dated outside of your race? So that's to the general audience. I did. I'll be honest. I did.
In high school, but then that's where in my house, I saw a certain perception of what a married family looks like. And so I never thought to myself that I would marry somebody outside of my race. But then now what we're talking about is that example in the home is becoming less and less. Like just having married parents is becoming, if we use the statistic, under 30% have a married household. So children aren't seeing that example. And now on TV, they're not seeing, oh, I can marry whoever I want. Like it's not a specific, not inspiration, but it's an example. They're not seeing that example.
Well, and I want to say thank you to the family that are here, especially live. This this can be a controversial topic, but the way you're handling it, very mature, very understanding, no internet trolling stuff.
True.
That's going on here, which is great because a lot of the stuff that I see online, that's a whole other conversation. All right. Long time no see. Sophia Jackson Sojay says there is a lot of foolishness happening in the way of international dating. It's challenging to find individuals who are serious about really getting to know someone. Yes. Well, again, getting back to this lady who said, when I asked her about what's dating like, she says, quote, the struggle is real, unquote. All right. Ryan Singh. Hey, Ryan, what's up? She says, that's easy. They have to include white and other audiences while being diverse. So he's getting to your comment about the showing the interracial couples on TV. All right. Macmillan Group says, I think we have to put context into the conversation. The Black family in crisis is the first world issue since we are the minority. In Black nations, there are more monolithic populations. Good point. Mignon Cam says, dating outside my race is a regular habit. Okay. Oh, thank you, Tim Frey. By the way, good morning. Yes, by the way, good morning to you, Tim Frey.
Always good.
So here's a good comment too. And also, Tim, thank you for your text message. I do have to follow up with that contact because I want to see if we can do something in the new year. You and I got to talk about that big time.
Sounds
all right.
good.
Wayne Harris says, is a Black person from North Bay better for you than a white girl who lives in your hood? Ooh.
It's a valid question. So this is where you look at, we talk about, I love who I love, you know? Yep. So if you meet somebody, you're in the same environment, you grow up together, you fall in love with them, it can be anybody from any race. But then if that person doesn't understand your struggle, even though you love them, will they, like Wayne Harris said, share your values? It's like, it's one thing to just grow up with somebody. It's another thing to understand what you're going to be going through. Let's say as a Black man, would this woman understand that? And then if that's what really matters, then would you then go with the person that actually shares your values?
Okay.
So this is where it's like environment has so much to do with who you're going to be not just attracted to, but who's going to share your values. So that's where it's hard. You can't put that. That's where the one thing I push back with Dr. Umar, because you can't put it on somebody.
You can't.
Based on where they live, how they're going to grow up and fall in love with. But then we can be purposeful about things. So the thing that I do agree is that if you're purposeful about who you feel is going to match your values, you would go after that, not just somebody that is available. It's like, no, like this is, and Dr. George Fraser said it too, the most important decision that you're going to make, and financially as well, is who you
your
marry.
partner. Yeah, if you get married, who your partner is.
Wing it. It's like, it's nice that, okay, you fall in love with somebody, but this is for the long haul. Is love enough? Is that the only factor that you are lusting for somebody? Because I'm telling you, sex is only 1% of the entire relationship.
Yeah,
what
but
are you doing for that other 99%?
And the challenging is a number of people have sex and then there's a child and they are not, and it just complicates the whole situation.
Absolutely.
Let's jump on here. Let's continue on here. I've got, yes. Tim Frey says, great topic. When you do get Dr. Dami or Ife on date, this will be a great topic to watch. I think, this would actually be a great one to do a live.
Okay, gotcha.
This would be a great topic about the Black family in crisis. This would be a great one to do a live podcast.
In person. Yeah.
You think we'd have difficulty getting people to attend that?
Yes.
So Tim, definitely absolutely. But I'll make sure I get the names of these people. Hopefully, when back in the comments, I'll get them and reach out to them because I'd almost want to do a live one. Not like nothing wrong about doing the virtual, doing a live event.
Yeah.
There's our topic.
Yeah, okay.
There's our topic. Tim, there's a reason you're here today.
Yes.
There's a reason you kept me going. So the Macmillan Group goes, you can have different races and similar cultures. There are several multiracial societies across the globe that share cultural similarities.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay, Hayton Morrison. What's up, Hayton? Says the struggle is real, is really, really. Do we know why? Well, we've been chatting a little about this, but I think that's again we got to do this live. Yeah, this is really and truly, absolutely. But Ryan Singh says the values can be shared. I just did a shoot in a small town, and the student who were being spoken to were Black, but they were spoken of were Black, but they were white and poor and disadvantaged. We have lots of shared values, more than we think. I agree somewhat to that. I think we're in a world today that many people are looking what you don't have in common instead of what we have in common.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Wayne Harris says single moms are a thing in the West Indies and North America. Is it better to marry a black male or a white man? We are born male, but we choose to become men. Whoa! Well, this is good. Sophia Jackson, so good to see you here this morning. She says sickle cell is relevant. By the way, testing is required before having children. I was at Sick Kids and dating and marriage came up. We need to own this. Ooh, gotcha. I want to give you a little more. And Mignon Camps is a very relevant point. Marriage is a business contract.
Absolutely. So, and that's a great point that Wayne put up. It's like, okay, you're going to stay in your race, but the person that you're going to marry isn't marriage material, let's say. But then you're going to go out your race and marry somebody that is marriage material. If we're going by just a boy versus a man, like has this person develop. Hey, 100% valid. Like Mignon Cam said it. This is a long-term, most important decision that you're going to make. So if our black men or our black boys aren't becoming men of marriage material, we're forcing women to then marry outside our race because we have no good options. It's like, and when you look at the dating scene, it's a struggle.
No problem. I think so. Anyone here who's watching this live or on replay, if you especially are a mother or if you're a parent of young black men, educate them now about the realities of the world. And no age is too young. Educate them of the realities of what the world is like for black men. For example, if you have a son and he's going to live away from home, going to post-secondary school, he needs the talk. And I'm not just talking about police talk, I'm talking about relationship talk. I'll leave it at that. Sojay says, when the white woman in the hood calls the police, it matters. Okay. Office of Tim Frey says, if someone calls you from Jamaica with a heavy and genuine patois tone, you get along with her, but find out later that she's a white girl from Germany. Would you date her?
I think we call that catfishing. That's a voice fish.
And one of our producers says in the back says 90 Day Fiancé is becoming way too normalized nowadays.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. Again, a show that I don't watch it, but I know people that watch it, and I'm just saying I don't think the media is giving us the best portrayal of relationships.
Absolutely. And that scenario is such a small percentage of all the people that get married in the United States. That shows like 0.01%, but then that becomes normal. Because we see it so much, we get so invested, we feel like this is the way it is. It really isn't.
So Mignon Cam says it would be good to have matchmakers on the show for this discussion, since they are matching the right matchmakers, right? Because there's a lot of people on the digital airways. They're going in for clicks and likes. They don't have the experience. Like when I see someone giving marriage advice and has never been married, I'm going, I want the evaluated experience. Sophia Sojay says, I'm challenged to believe that Afro-Caribbean men believe that selecting a partner is an extremely important decision. The amount of men I've encountered who are having extreme difficulty with divorce, co-parenting, etc. I think that's a generalized statement. I think there's a number of them that do believe in selecting a partner who is an important decision. My dad's one of them. Thank you very much. I'll give you an example. Ryan Knight, Wayne Harris. I know a number of them that treat as an important decision.
But
so this is nothing against what you're saying, Sojay, but then some people think that what they see is the norm.
Yeah, but a lot of I think what she's saying is that a lot of men don't put a lot of thoughts into the long term of what's going to happen based on my decisions today. Because we see too many of our youth like just having sex and having babies and not
Not
thinking of the
just
long
youth,
term.
not just youth.
But this is what she's saying. So how much are they thinking before they do sleep with somebody about the long term consequences or having a relationship with this person? Too many people are thinking in the short term. They're not realizing how important a decision of who you lie down with is.
I even think who you date and all that sort of stuff. I think that is a whole. Okay, so Jay says, "Good to see and hear you, gentlemen, as well." And she also says, "Yes, Ryan." So you got another person in your corner. Wayne Harris says, "Throughout recent history, societies in Latin America and Asia have actually worked to whiten the population. It was a policy to see it now being normalized is par for the course." Yeah, this actually goes back many, many years ago at the Toronto International Film Festival. What's the gentleman's name? Bill Duke and Dee Chansonberry premiered a film called Dark Girls.
Okay.
And it was all about, it was a documentary about Black women and how they're treated because of their skin tone. And they went to places in Africa where skin bleaching is really popular. Right? Which is really, really popular. Sojay says, yes. He says, yes. But yeah, I just, again, and this is what I love, family. We just take a topic. You guys just drive. We're just steering the ship. We just drive with it. But I think, again, it all too relates to the state of the Black family. Right? And Mignon Camp says, and the rise in Black and child-free families. Yeah. And again, unfortunately, in Canada, where we're based, we're not great at getting or taking race-based statistics. But I know in the United States, the numbers, about 70% of the Black children in America are raised by single parent. And I would say maybe somewhat similar in Canada. Don't know, but I'm putting it out there. It's probably the same in Canada, because in a lot of areas we mimic the United States. Whether that's good or not, that's a whole other conversation. But it's really interesting to see. Like I said, I always say that quote: "The struggle is real."
Absolutely,
the struggle is real. Okay, so we go here. The Millen Group goes, "It's not too many people, Ryan. It's the same two scrubs having sex with multiple children and having kids with them. It is not the norm. We are made to think it is." Okay.
Yeah,
that is true. I don't think I agree. I don't think that's a common thing. And again, it may be something that the media puts out there and we accept it as the norm.
Okay.
Right. And
I hope you're right with that, because it doesn't seem like it's a small percentage of single men out there just doing that bachelor life,
populating the world.
Right. So
and Mignon Cam says you don't always need statistics. It's also talking to different people. Yeah. But remember, data has no emotion. Right. Data has no emotion. If you get the right amount of data has no emotion.
But this is where, if it's showing 30% are married households, that is 70% of unmarried single people. So that doesn't sound like just two scrubs. That sounds like a lot of single people out there with these mix-up households and single parents.
It's okay. Sojay says what Harris said. We know that, quote, dilution, unquote, is intentional. Why are we not being intentional about who we are dating and marrying? That's a good point. Are we intentional about who we're dating and marrying? Right? I remember a number of years ago, I was speaking to a gentleman who had a lot of knowledge in this area, and he said, do people get married for security or excitement? Or do people get into relationships for security or excitement?
Okay. I feel like it starts with excitement, and then you get to a certain age and you realize you need security, so you start trying to look for that. It's like,
I think these days for a lot of people, well, it's growing, and I'm thinking for a lot of ladies, they're looking for the security more than ever. Because
okay.
if you're with someone and if you want to start a family, you want to feel that you're in a secure environment. You're with a secure person that has the family first in intentions, and your safety and the family's safety if you're going to have children or if there are children. And that's a whole other conversation too about the Black family. Good point here, Macmillan Group. Just look at your 5 closest male friends and see how they live. Yeah, and just in general, just look at your 5 closest friends and see how they live. Right? So that's a really good point. That's a really, really good point. That look at this. Sojay said, responding to Ray, all single ladies.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would probably say if we had okay, here's a question for you, Ryan. The ladies that you deal with somewhat regularly in the business realm, are the majority married or in a relationship? Just off the top of your head.
Yeah, well, majority, I'd have to count, because there's some that are in solid relationships, and there's some that are struggling in this single life.
Yes. So it's a little bit of a balance.
I can't tell which would be more.
The majority. It's this is funny. I just think about this. The majority of ladies I do with business wise, here's an interesting fact. Melanated, non-melanated. I'd have to think a little deeper. Just off the top of my head, the ones that are melanated are single. Majority are single. The ones that are non-melanated are in relationships or married.
Interesting. Okay, gotcha.
You know, I'd have to think about you just off the top of my alleged mind. That's what I say first. Wayne Harris says, again, what do you value? Same people will only date Black if the woman can pass the paper bag test. Colorism is another point. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, there you see, this we have to do a live one on this. But we have to have the right people. No drama.
Right.
No Mary J, no more drama.
Yes.
So Wayne Harris, Mini on Camp says, Wayne Harris, I was told not to date dark as a kid. There's another thing too.
Look at this.
That's another thing too. Macmillan Group says there are more childless Black men, childless Black women with women, and many men are not interested in marriage. Well, see, Ray, you were reading my alleged mind. Okay. How many Black men who don't have kids are willing to get into a relationship with, let's say for a Black woman who has kids? Because there's a lot of beef on the internet, and there's I'll put his name out there. Boyce Watkins.
Okay.
He married Alicia. Alicia has 2 kids from a previous relationship. He was getting major beef from many Black men saying, "You're crazy doing that, man. Why are you doing that?" And he said, "You know what? I love children. One of my goals in life is to help as many Black children as I can. So why is it wrong for me to marry a lady that has children that I want to help raise?"
But that's so interesting that he would get negative backlash like that. To me, there's a number of Black men on those internet streets. They call him they say you're a simp. That terminology, you're a simp. He's a simp. He says, I don't care. Look, I want to help as many Black children as I can. I love my wife. She has children. I am actively involved in their life because I'm helping Black children. Yeah, that rationale is backwards to me. I don't see how that is more difficult than the alternative. Like, you're picking a more difficult path because you realize that it's needed. If you're picking the simple path of just being single and only dating women without kids, it's like, sure, but that's not the more difficult path. So yeah,
Well,
the definition of simp, they have to check their definition.
yeah. Sojay says some individuals feel security comes from being with someone outside their culture. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Okay. Mignon Camp says it was a big conversation what shade of dark was acceptable to date when I was growing up, and how my grandma hated my father for being too dark. Whoa.
Okay.
All right. And then Hayden Morrison says, is there a clear understanding of the struggles that specifically probably impact Black families? Yeah. You know, that, but then gets back to what Ryan was saying. Can someone outside the culture understand our culture? Can they relate?
One thing that I noticed is a lot of times when I talk to white friends, really good friends, they can't understand the work I do to support just the Black community. They're like, oh, why does it have to be just Black? Why can't it be opened up? Why do we have to talk about race? So that's where I would feel when you're dating outside your race, when you're doing something specifically for your race, typically they don't understand that. They're like, why does it have to be segregated? They start saying like, oh, isn't that segregation? It's like, no, it's focus. You know, like you focus on your family, you focus on your house, you focus on your community. So that part, I haven't seen them really understand. That's where if I'm with my wife and she's questioning me about the work I'm doing for the Black community, that can't work. It's just like,
but and again, everyone has their own boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Right. What they're willing to accept, 100%, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Chachi, good morning, Dr. Chachi. Thanks for dropping by. As always, the driving force behind Indie Soup. The Macmillan Group says, as a young man in my early 20s, I dated 2 women at different times with children. I was never going to marry either of them.
Interesting. Okay.
Thank you for your honesty. Sojay says, I've been told several times that if I really want to find a husband, I would be willing to date outside my community. I was always hear this from our community. Interesting. What Dr. Vibe said about Black women entrepreneurs is accurate. Oh, at least I said something that people agree with today. Mignon Camp says, Dr. Tachi is here. Good, I need another female voice. Well, there's more than Dr. Tachi here. Yes. Sojay is here. Thank you very much. JJ Mars, I had to step away for a minute, but look at Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winner. Congratulations, by the way. His girlfriend is mixed, and people think she's with him for the money. And it's actually interesting, and I don't remember this lady's name. She was so-called influenced, and I think she's changed to being Muslim now. But a number of years ago, this lady would go around and sleep with athletes, Black athletes. Right. I don't think this was I think she was a Black woman, and she would leave them and hit them up for child support payments. And then she came to, I don't know if it was when Deion Sanders was coaching, I think when he was coaching Jackson State, and she gave a lecture saying, I target the athletes I want to date because I know I can hit them up for money. She basically said that a lot of Black athletes are not smart and she can take them for money.
Damn. That's
I'm also going to say another thing. There is an artist named Cardi B.
Okay.
What did Cardi B do before she became a big star? You don't know this, Ryan? She has proclaimed that she used to get men drunk, sleep with them, and steal their money.
Oh, wow.
So,
but she was a dancer, right? She was a stripper?
She's a musical artist.
No, before. I think she started as a...
Anyway, yeah, exactly.
I have no idea.
So here we go. The media idolizes these type of individuals.
Man.
And unfortunately, some of our young Black girls idolize Cardi B more than knowing good education. And who knows, maybe I'll just leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. So we got to do this live. I just say that. Okay. Brian McGinn says you can't compare a man getting married at 50 to a woman with a child to a man in his life who wants to carve his own path. I just brought out the example, Wayne. Nope. Wayne Harris says, check the energy of the participants. Who's bringing the masculinity, the woman or the man? Oh boy, this has got Dr. Thatcher. We have to invite you as a panelist. She goes, man, forget them. It's not our job to continue to explain our things to people who don't want to research.
Yeah, okay.
Mark says Brittany Jenner. Macmillan Group says because the obvious to the generation of white privilege they enjoyed, Ryan. Dr. Tachi says about Cardi B was a quote dancer unquote.
Okay, right.
JJ Marr says many black athletes get suckered into a mess. Oh, that the lineup is long on this. That's a huge lineup. Mignon Cam says that is the dancer life for some people. Agreed. But again, the idolization, the promotion in the media. Mignon Cam says you can't judge a woman for how she had to survive. I'm not judging. I'm just saying that it.
Yeah, the dancing is no problem. It's the stealing and getting people drunk to rob them.
Yeah.
Yes, I know people have to live, but you don't also have to be a criminal. And then people are idolizing that part of the story. It's like if she's using that as like she's proud that she used to rob men, that is not an example that we should be having for our children.
Right.
So our young girls.
Ryan Singh says, love my black wife, just love her dark skin. Enough said. Sophia Soje says, putting it out there, I'm interested in participating in this live conversation when
we're gonna get the dates.
Okay, we have a topic, and this is great. Organically, you guys have come up with something for us. Wayne Harris says she was on Club Shay Shay. Yes, he's another interesting individual.
Okay, yes.
And then he says Brittany Reiner. I think you wanted to say not Renner, but Reiner. But yeah, I think I just there's so many facets of this conversation that you all just been laying it down today in this card. But Wayne Harris, I'm very curious about your comment about the masculinity. What was the reason for bringing up that question? Very curious why you brought that up. If you want to comment. But so folks, those who live in the Greater Toronto area, if we had a live podcast about the state of the black family or the black family in crisis question mark,
live in person,
would you attend? Because okay, so Dr. Taji says, but who are the ones supporting people like Cardi B? We keep blaming the media, but the media only exists for the audience. If we don't give them an audience, these people would not exist. And that gets back to, is it the media that creates it or the audience?
That's the chicken and the egg, man.
But I'm just putting it out there. I'm just questioning Dr. Tachi because when it comes to media, I don't go on. I don't mess with Dr. Tachi. I don't mess with Dr. Tachi.
But
right?
They have the ability to pick stars. They can hype up who they want to hype up, and then it's on us because people eat it up, and then it just feeds on itself. So yeah, it's like fault on both sides, unfortunately.
Well, if it isn't put out there,
imagine a media outlet that, and let's say if we look at like a religious outlet, they wouldn't hype up somebody like Cardi B because they don't match the values. So what values does this media that does hype up Cardi B, what values do they have if they're okay with her lifestyle and what she raps about? Because she's not rapping about anything wholesome. So the fact that this is something that would get somebody signed would now be able to be put on the radio, amplified to the max, and find people in the community that would gravitate to that. That is like a system of a specific design. Like you have to have a lack of values to put these things out there.
Well, it also to another facet of this is that the people who are making those decisions are not don't look like us, right?
Ivory Tower.
Yeah, so they've got control
from it.
So Dr. Tachi says there was a show on VH1 called Sorority Sisters, It
Okay.
portrayed a horrible depiction of D9 sororities. We banned it together. We banned it together and got it off the air in 2 days. We banned it together and got off the air in 2 days. So that's where we got to use our voice. Minyan Camp says religious media would use Cardi B for judgment, and then religious media needs to create a media for the mob to hate.
Gotcha.
Ryan, you should have left long
I gotta
ago.
run.
Yeah, you should have left long
It
ago.
was good seeing everybody. Love the conversation. We shall chat soon, Dr.
All
Vibe.
right, be well, all the best. Take care.
Thank you.
Yes, people, let's continue the conversation. Does anyone else want to continue in on this? Obviously, this is a, what do they say, hot topic? But the state of the Black family, absolutely. You know, it's a, Dr. Tachi says, cheers, Ryan. Good to hear. She also, okay, we're good there. But yeah, absolutely. Again, we just talked about, Ryan talked about Black men and watching their step. You got to. That's just from my lens. If you're a Black man, you got to watch your step. 100%. I don't think if anyone disagrees with me, I'll take them on in a respectful way. And then we got into things like the Black family, Black relationships, dating. There's a whole lot going on. Okay. Sojay goes, what Harris said, women are not guiding our young girls, and women tend to be in their femininity. Okay. Tim Frey says, quote, white should marry white. Okay. Okay. Interesting. We are not guiding. Yeah. So just on that, okay, Dr. Tachi says this, that I definitely don't think that people like Cardi B should be judged. And that said, we never know what the background is. However, I don't want her to speak for me and how I operate as a woman. Good stuff. I missed your first part. Oh, okay. So coming back, I said, okay, got it, Tim. I got it now. So Tim said, we need to be mindful not to come across in a way that resembles the rhetoric we disagree with, such as white nationalists who claim to, quote, love their own people, unquote, and advocate for ideas like white should marry white. Okay, sorry about that, Tim. Please forgive me. I missed the full context. So that was my head, our head, and not our heart, myself and producer. So mainly my fault by that one. So yeah, I think that out of this conversation, we've got a topic for we're working on doing a live podcast or live show. I don't like saying podcast, live show in the Toronto area. So there is someone in the audience I've spoken with who's given me a contact name that I've got to reach out to see if it would happen. I did ask earlier on, call to action, if you're in the GTA and we're hosting a conversation, a live show about the state of the Black family, probably wouldn't invite more than 20 people at the most. It would be a paid event, but 20, and wouldn't be a big cost, but 20 people. Would you attend? Would like to see if anyone would like to attend. And depending on the financial, we may live stream it, but I know our first priority would be just doing a live event, and then we would probably document it and then rebroadcast it. Just thinking of ideas out of my alleged mind at the moment. Anyone would attend who's in the GTA? And even if you're watching this on replay and you're in the GTA, if it's something you would think about or consider attending, I would love to say either a yes or no. What I may also do is put something up on the YouTube page and take a poll or something like that. Okay, Sophia Sojay, and thank you for your comments today. Much appreciated. She says, we know better. We all need to do better. Long story short. Facts. This is so true. There's always room for improvement, getting a little bit better each day. There's always room for improvement. 100%. 100%. That is so, so, so important. All right. I think that's a wrap for today. Unless anyone else wants to chat about anything. I was going to, if this subject didn't come up, I was going to talk about what people thought about the whole shooting and killing of the United Healthcare CEO in New York and the repercussions, healthcare system. But we actually talked about that yesterday on Black Canada Talking with myself and Cesar Nadima Musa. We also had a special guest, a Black gentleman who works in the insurance industry, not health insurance, but the car and home insurance industry. And we had a very good roundtable. So I would say that if you want, check that out. So Sojay would say, if there was serious matchmaking segment, I'm down. I don't know. I think that to make my first thought in my alleged mind, I just want to talk about the state of the Black family. The whole matchmaking piece, I think it's a whole other conversation. I don't want to make the matchmaking the dominant part of the event. If it's a matchmaking event, let it be a matchmaking event. I think that needs to stand on its own. Just my thoughts. I want to talk about the Black family. Yes, maybe matchmaking will come, but I think the Black family is more an important conversation from my lens. That's what my heart is telling me right now. Let's talk about the Black family. Wayne Harris says, alpha and beta are energies. It moves from man to woman. Only one can be in either energy in the same place. Okay. What else? Anything else today? I think Sojay, thank you. Yes. True. I'm still down. Okay, thank you for your support. I believe there's enough. I don't know. I'm not in that world enough to know about if there's enough matchmaking events. I know there's a big one coming up in January in Toronto. I just looked at it, whatever. I would go for research, but I'm not even thinking about doing that. I know enough people I can talk to and get their lived experiences. I don't need a big platform. It's not in alignment with me to go to a big platform from the US to bring up and talk about Black relationships and this and that. I don't want entertainment. I want action. That's what I'm looking for. Sojay says the topics are related, as mentioned. Yes, they are related, but I don't want to make the matchmaking piece the main part of the conversation. It can be a subset, but the main part is the Black family. And I think just talking about the Black family, that's enough for a conversation piece. I know that, the relationships, the dating thing may come up. It probably will come up, but I want to talk the macro, the whole family, and then we can get into subsets. Anybody else have any comments before we shut it down for today? Okay, they're asking, you shall receive. C Nurse K, happy birthday to Ryan for Wednesday. Yes, keep doing the amazing work you're doing. So it's Ryan's birthday this Wednesday. So we only broadcast this show Monday and Friday. So make a point of wishing him, whether it's via social media or if you have his email address, wish him a happy birthday. Thank you, C Nurse K, for that. Much, much important. All right. So let's start shutting it down for the day. All right, let's get to this. So let's do the roll call from the top. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Let's get to 1,630 by Friday. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and share it out. Tell people it's home of epic conversations. To advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I'm a part of, please email me dr.vibe@vibeshow.com. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me dr.vibe@vibeshow.com. Coming up on this Friday's show, she's been contributing in the comments, Dr. Tachi. We'll be talking about the year in media, tech, and pop culture. What else? If you want to get a hold of Mr. Ryan Knight, website, RyanO'NeillKnight.com. And that's Knight with K-N, not N. LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neill Knight. Instagram, at Ryan.Knight99. Email address, workwithme@RyanO'NeillKnight.com. Here I am, the Dr. Vibe Show website, the DR, VIBESHOW.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, the DR, period, VIBESHOW. Instagram at the DR, VIBESHOW. X at DR, VIBESHOW. Email DR, period, VIBE at the DR, VIBESHOW.com. And you can also catch me on Blue Sky at DR, VIBEBSKY.social. And you can watch replays of this epic conversation at the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, at the Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook, and Ryan O'Neill Knight on YouTube. So that's a wrap. We got one more comment. So, Jay, so good to have you here. Glad you tuned in. Glad you did tune in. Let's have an offline conversation. All right? Good stuff. So, as always, this is how we close off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. And don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourselves grace. We got one more show. There we go. Ryan Singh says, great show. Have a lovely week. Thank you. All of you helped make it a great show. Even the people that watch on the replay, you helped make it a great show. All right? And finally, new quote, if you don't make money, make history. God bless. Peace to well. Keep the faith and walk good.